Hello and welcome friends. I am Sarthak Singh and I have cleared the civil services exam twice. So as we are discussing PYQs series, today we have international relation questions with us and we will be looking at how to write answers in the GS2 paper of international relation so that you get better marks than others who are writing mains. So in order to get good marks in mains, first and foremost thing that we know by now is we need to have a content. तो सबसे पहले हमें content हमारे पास होना चाहिए. If you have not yet made your notes from international affairs, then you can contact us. I have converted my notes in these kind of booklets which are available here, so you can take them. Then next thing is the speed of answer writing. So once we start to write answers on a daily basis, then our speed would increase gradually. And to increase your speed of answer writing, to complete the paper on time, what you need to do is you need to write daily, and this is what we are doing in the PYQs series. And another important thing is presentation. So when you have the content, when you have the speed, then the game comes to better present your answers in a form that is appealing to the examiner, that ensures that you get higher marks. So in order to achieve all these three, content, speed and presentation, we are doing the PYQ ACE test series and we are discussing previous year questions of UPSC mains. You can write your answers and then you can send them to me on this number 9887844044. You can send your answers to me and then we will evaluate your answers. You will also get to have a face-to-face discussion with me on the papers. So let us come to the international relations. First question for today is, Indian diaspora has scaled new heights in the West. So Indian diaspora, every 3-4 years a question is asked on the achievements of Indian diaspora in GS2 international relations. So this question is on Indian diaspora. So Indian diaspora has scaled new heights in the West. Describe its economic and political benefits for India. So how is our diaspora useful for us? The question is basically asking about their economic and political benefits. So since a lot of Indians are settled outside in different countries of the West, we need to tell them in this answer the economic and political significance. One important point to note here is the diaspora of West is asked. So the West would mean United States, Canada or the Western Europe. So we do not have to include the diaspora of the Gulf countries, Southeast Asian nation or China. So this is one thing that we need to know while writing the answer. You have to take care of this, that while discussing about the diaspora, you will be focused on the Western Europe or the North America portions of the world. Then we have to describe the tail word. The keyword here given is describe. So when we describe a thing, we will elaborate a thing because this keyword would change the answer. Here we are asked to describe the economic and political benefits for India. So how, having a diaspora in the West, India has one of the largest diaspora that we know, we would be writing that in the introduction, and how this is beneficial for India. So the core demand is to highlight the economic and political benefits. This is the core demand. And a non-core demand is that we have a diaspora that is so large in the continent in the West. So non-core demand, we have to highlight the expanse of India's diaspora in the West. So this will ensure that you are able to address both core and non-core demands of the paper and thereby getting good marks. So first, now what can be the approach answer for this? Those of you who are writing answers can send them to me live. I would be checking to you and replying you. The number I have mentioned earlier, 9878444044. So this has to be the number. Then and diaspora has scaled new heights. So you have to talk about new heights. And there were certain current affairs when this question was asked in 2023. There were certain current affairs regarding the previous Vice President of United States, previous Prime Minister of Britain. So all these dignitaries were having Indian origin, and this was the basis that why this question was asked by UPSC. So we know that current affairs play a very important role in the mains preparation. So it is important for us to highlight the current related aspects of that question that are inspiration for that question in the introduction itself. So in a way, you are telling the examiner that you know about why this question is being asked. So when you write the introduction, you can start with the data of diaspora, that so and so number of diaspora is present in the whole wide world or in the West. Then you can give certain current events or current personalities as to why this question is being asked on diaspora. Why is there so much focus on the Indian diaspora? So this way, when you highlight in the introduction that why this question is being asked, then you are telling the examiner that you know what is the inspiration for this question. Next, moving to the body part, we will write the introduction. Now the body will have core demand. Diaspora, expanse of Indian diaspora, you can briefly mention. You will mention the economic benefits for India. Economic benefits for India. You will mention the political benefits for India. So this way you will have to mention 2 or 3 subheadings in this question in the body part, and thereafter we will conclude the answer. So this is the structure that we are going to follow. And in the introduction, we can discuss the importance of diaspora, how our Honorable Prime Minister has called diaspora as the strategic asset. So this we can write in the introduction itself, that diaspora is the strategic asset as has been called by the Honorable Prime Ministers. Or for diaspora, it is said that they should be the Rashtraduts. Rashtraduts, the whole of diaspora can be the Rashtradut. Rajdut is someone who is in the diplomatic services, in the foreign services, IFS, but the whole of diaspora can be a Rashtradut for India. So this idea we can use for conclusion. So as soon as you look at the question, there should be introduction and conclusion ready with you. So the point of answer writing is, the point of this session is, you gain introduction and conclusions that you are able to replicate in the exam hall. When you write answers on a daily basis, when you do answer writing on a daily basis, you would see a gradual improvement. And without writing answers, you cannot expect to clear mains. So in order to clear mains, writing good answers, writing content-rich answers is the need of the hour. And this is what we are doing here. So diaspora has scaled new heights in the West. So we can also tell about certain new heights that are scaled by diaspora. And this way I was highlighting the Honorable former Prime Minister of Britain or the former Vice President of USA. All of those were from Indian origin, and some other nations in the Western Europe had Indian origin leaders. So you have to highlight that in the political and in the economic sphere. So you can also highlight Indian CEOs in the Silicon Valley. So for economic sphere, you can highlight Silicon Valley Indian CEOs. So this thing you can highlight in the economic portion while writing the introduction. So in this way your introduction would be enriched. And some of you have also written the data from World Migration Report. So this is a very good point when you write data from the World Migration Report in your introduction. This also can be used if you are aware of this report, if you have made your notes. So World Migration Report. If you have not yet made your notes, if you have not yet studied IR in detail from the mains perspective, then you can definitely refer to this booklets that I showed you of Kalam Golden Pages on the international relations. So World Migration Report can also be shown that what are the data that India has its largest diaspora in the whole wide world. Then you can give examples, whether be it of Sundar Pichai, whether be it of Indra Nooyi or some political leaders. You can put the examples in the introduction. Now coming to the body part. What is the economic benefits? Diaspora, you can write the importance of diaspora. Importance of diaspora, or you can also highlight the brain gain, not brain drain, but brain gain due to diaspora. This you can highlight while writing this regarding diaspora, whether be it the introduction or be it the connecting para between introduction and body. So this way you will get 2, 3, 4 ways to write and introduce, and you can highlight certain keywords like this, which will improve your mains marks. Now coming to the economic benefits. First and foremost economic benefits that is visible and all of you have written, I was looking at the answers, is the remittances that the India is getting from diaspora that is present in the other countries. Then economic benefits is the IT sector is gaining. So another important benefit you can highlight is that IT sector is gaining in India as a result of a very vast diaspora that is present in the United States. Then we can highlight the investment that is being done by developed nations or by industry leaders, by the companies, by the big multinational companies in India, because they know the ethos of India are diversity and inclusion. And diversity and inclusion are the ethos that are needed for a big, large multinational to grow. So they are investing in India. This point also can be highlighted. You can also cite examples of certain MOUs that are signed by India and the Western European nations, whether be it in the field of sustainable development, whether be it in the field of urban infrastructure, and all of this. So this MOUs being signed, investment being made, are a phenomena of the influence the Indian diaspora has with those countries. So we are able to use the technologies. Fourth point you can highlight the technology gain. Technology gain that is there, that is improving the efficiency of Indian economy, and that is due to a large Indian diaspora being present. Fifth point that can be written in the economic sector is tourism. So tourism is there, large diaspora is there, they are coming back home, they are coming to visit, they are bringing their friends along with, and on many occasions the Honorable Prime Minister has also called for diaspora being acting as a Rajdoot that bring and attract other foreigners along with them to India to visit, and thereby increasing the foreign exchange reserves by tourism. So 5, 6 points you can write about economic benefits that are there for India. You can also highlight the influx or the incoming of the startup culture. So the startup culture is there. Many startups that are inspired from the ideas that are working well in the USA. So many startup of the urban rapid mobility startups that you name in India, they actually began in USA and they were actually conceptualized in USA. They have been made suitable to the Indian needs and Indian conditions. So all this is brought by the diaspora who wish to settle back in India, who wish to contribute back to the development and growth of the country. So this is the economic benefits. Now next subheading we have to write the political benefits for the country. So first and foremost political benefit that you can think of is they are helping us in the diplomacy and dialogue. Diplomacy and dialogue with the country. A very famous example of this is Indo-US civil nuclear deal. A lot of foreign affairs thinkers, foreign affairs experts attribute Indo-US civil nuclear deal to the diaspora's pressure or the diaspora's influence in the higher lobby of US decision makers. So this is the benefit, and you will also have to mention examples to make your arguments credible. This was a question for 15 marks. So this was a question for 10 marks. So you will have to at least write 10 to 12 to 15 points in this. If this would have been a question for 15 marks, then the number of points would have increased. But 5 points for both of these economic and political benefits we will have to definitely write. Diplomacy, dialogue, lobbying, they are also helpful for the soft power. But please make sure that when you are giving examples of diaspora's economic and political benefits for India, you should remember that diaspora of West is being asked. This I am again and again highlighting because some of my friends who wrote mains that year gave examples from the diaspora of Middle East or diaspora of Southeast Asian nations or from Africa. So you have to refrain yourself because the demand of the question is the diaspora of West. If you write something other than West, then you are not going to get good marks in mains because it shows that you have not even read the question correctly. So कुछ लोग क्या करते हैं, सिर्फ डायस्पोरा का एक वर्ड देखेंगे और डायस्पोरा के ऊपर ही 2 पेज का आंसर लिख देंगे without even realizing the core demand of the question. So what we have to do is we have to understand that what is being asked. Then next point you can write in the political benefits that they are promoting India's interest, and many are they are helping in India at global high tables. Global high tables, India is gaining political heft. So this is a point that can be written. You can highlight certain examples from your knowledge, your coverage of current affairs. You will be able to come up with examples for these. Now coming to the conclusion. One way you can conclude is the Rashtradoot, that not everybody can be a Rajdoot, but every person of every individual of diaspora can be a Rashtradoot. So one is you can use that quote, Rashtradoot. This can be written. Or you can highlight how can we improve our connect with diaspora. You can highlight about the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas that is being celebrated every year, every alternate year. So to improve the connect, and the government or the decision makers have taken cognizance of this fact that diasporas connect with country and their influence abroad has to be used for the positive development indicators in India. Another way to conclude can be a summary type conclusion that the diaspora has been a force of change in India and they have a lot of political and economic benefits, but more can be done to achieve the real potential of India's wide diaspora. Or you can highlight other achievements of the diaspora that they highlight not just in the political and economic sphere, they influence other spheres such as strategic affairs, sports, entertainment industry or other fields. So this way you will be able to write a well knit answer for 10 marker question on the Indian diaspora. So all these points you can note down. If you are not noting them down, you can take a screenshot for these so that you are able to revise them again and again. So next question that we have for today is on the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO. Critically examine the aims and objectives of SCO. Shanghai Cooperation Organization. This has been asked as an institution. Every 2-3 years there is an institution. So this was asked in 2021. So some institution can again be asked in the upcoming mains exam. Critically examine the aims and objectives of SCO. What importance does it hold for India? Importance. So here we are highlighting the 3 major demands, and this is a fairly direct question. This has no hidden demands. We will have to keep in point that what is being asked, the aims, objectives and importance that it holds for India. Also, the keyword, the directive word here that is mentioned is critically examine. So whenever there is critically examine, you have to be very much alert in suggesting the ways to improve this body, ways to improve what is being asked. So you will have to suggest a way forward in a 15 marker wherever they are asking critically examine. I would suggest you please suggest a way forward before your conclusion. So way forward would increase your marks, and you would also be able to show that you are a forward looking person and you are solution oriented person. So when you write way forward, it shows that you are a solution oriented person and you have not just mugged up the facts, mugged up the points, but you are aware enough to highlight that since we are asked to critically analyze the aims and objectives of the SCO, we are also suggesting the ways for improvement of this thing. So this can be written, and only a very few would write way forward. So in 15 marker, as we have more space, we have more time, we have more word limit, I would suggest you to please include way forward in almost every 15 marker. That would show good upon you versus the competition that we have for mains. So in way forward also you can write 2-3 points. Coming to the structure of this answer, this is a fairly direct aims and objectives of SCO and what importance does it hold for India. So introduction, body and conclusion. So body here is straightforward, aims and objectives, aims and objectives that we are there, that we have to write for, and SCO, regarding SCO aims and objectives. Then we have to write the importance of this body for India, importance of SCO for India. So this way we will have to write 2 major subheadings in the question on the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So introduction that we have is, introduction mein you can tell about the origin of this organization, that why this originated, from where did it originate, whose thoughts were behind its origination, and what were the initial member countries that were part. So you can highlight the origin of SCO in the introduction. This can be a well knit introduction, origin of SCO. You can write the year, you can write the countries. I am leaving this up to you to find. I am not spoon feeding everything here. So please go back to your notes. If you have not made notes, you can contact the academy. You will be provided with a Kalam Golden Pages of International Relations, wherein you can update all these things, all these facts would be available. So Shanghai Cooperation Organization is a Eurasian organization and it has member countries, as we know, the Central Asian nations, Russia, China, India, and few more countries joined very recently. So you will have to know their names as well and write all of them in the introduction. Then aims and objectives of any body are to be written directly without any information from your side, because aims and objectives are being asked as to list, that to strengthen the relations, promote the cooperation, strengthen relations, promote cooperation, counter terror, counter radicalization, ensure dialogue and diplomacy between the neighbors, ensure peaceful resolution of disputes. So ये सारे पॉइंट्स जो हैं कहीं ना कहीं SCO के एम्स एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव्स रहे हैं. And to safeguard regional peace, ensure democratic order in the region. So this way you can highlight what are aims and objectives of the SCO. You can also highlight, this way we will be able to differentiate our answers from others. Different aim of countries. So aim of countries, you can highlight that for China aim is market plus resources, and in this way you can highlight others as well. Russia, this can be your other Central Asian republics. This can be a form of flow chart or a line diagram that you can highlight that what are the aims of other countries before we come on to the that are aims for India or the importance of SCO for India. So इससे पहले आप ये दिखा सकते हैं. Some of you has mentioned this, so I found this to be a good idea that we can highlight what are other countries' aims in order, since it is a regional organization and many nations other than India are also part of this. So we will highlight aims of other countries. So Russia is countering the US influence in the region. Central Asian republics are aiming for the economic development, political stability in their country, and good relations with both the superpowers that are around their region, that are surrounding their region, all the powers that are existing around their region. So this is a platform for Central Asian republics to have good relations with all of them and thereby ensuring political stability in their countries. So aims of countries आप दिखा सकते हैं एक फ्लो चार्ट में जिसमें थोड़ा सा ही स्पेस यूज होगा. Now since importance of India has been asked directly, you can write this as a separate subheading, and there we can write all the point that what are the importance for India. What are the importance for India? We can write, whether be it the connectivity projects, economic connectivity, you can highlight economic integration, increased connectivity, increased trade, counter radicalization in the region, becoming a regional power, pursuing independent foreign policy, that is independent of both the blocks, independent foreign policy that India would want to pursue. So this also is a way to achieve that, because we are a part of SU, we are also a part of Quad. So this highlights we are aiming for independent foreign policy. Then you can highlight to ensure stability in Asia. Regional stability is also a concern for India. So stability in Asia can be ensured with this. Then you can highlight counter terror as well. Counter radicalization or counter terror, you can write in the same point, counter terror as well. So ensuring development in the Central Asian regions, increasing the people to people contact towards ensuring resources for India, the natural resources that Central Asian republics are rich at. So we are highlighting the increased cooperation with these republics through SCO that will ensure us to have access to resources which these countries are rich in. Then there can be certain cooperations regarding the technology sector or the health sector. So technology and health sector, you will also have to highlight certain specific measures that are being taken, which are available in your model answers that you will be getting with this PYQs test series. So if you have not yet received them, you can contact on the given numbers below, and you can take the model answers for this. So please highlight all the aspects that we have to write in an answer, not just 3 or 4 points that I am looking at in most of the answers. People are writing 3-4 points and then they are stopping. But in order to get good marks, you have to increase the number of points. You have to write dimensions in one question itself. Then since we are asked to critically analyze, what most of us while writing answers ignore is that keyword that is there. So since in this question we are shown the keyword critically examine, we will highlight the challenges that exist for India. Challenges for India at SEO. So this is going to be another highlight for body. I had not told this earlier because some of you were sending answers, so I was looking at who writes this. But most people have missed this point that we have to write existing challenges that are there for India. So what are the challenges in the full potential of SEO is not being reached? So first and foremost is it appears like an organism that is aiming to counter US, so that is limiting its potential. Then we have the dominance of China in the regional grouping of SEO. Then you can highlight the ineffectiveness of counter-terror initiatives of SEO. Although they have a separate structure, separate body in the form of rats, but counter-terror is ineffective. Counter-terror is ineffective because no conclusive coordinated action against terrorist groups operating in the region have been made possible in the Shanghai Cooperation Organizations. Another challenge for India is the support for Belt and Road Initiative. So in this way, you will have to highlight even challenges. When we are highlighting, we can see that it's a strategic challenge, it's a regional challenge, dominance of China, it's a security challenge, counter-terror operations are ineffective, and BRI is a economic challenge. So challenge also, the way you write challenges, you also have to show that you are writing challenges from different point of views or different dimensions. In this way, we will make our answer stand out from others, thereby getting more marks. And this is what is required to be done when we are aiming for a good marks in mains. A good marks in mains you will be getting when you daily write answers, you get them evaluated from me, you will be getting face-to-face evaluation. And when your answers are not evaluated anywhere, when your answers are not checked there, then you lose the chance to improve. Because if your answers are not evaluated, you are not getting what you can do more, what can be improved in your answers. So getting them evaluated, you can definitely look at the numbers given below and you can contact me. I will be evaluating your answers. So in order to achieve good marks in mains, it is very essential to evaluate yourself. Next, finally we have written these points, so we will go on to conclusion. So conclusion for SEO you can write. In international bodies you can write the future if you know certain scholar has said certain things. So for the conclusion you can highlight that if you know, if you have noted down from the newspaper some scholars statement on SEO, that has this been functioning well or has this institution not been functioning well. So some you can write the scholars of SEO, statements of the scholars on SEO, but you will have to note this down from the newspapers while you are preparing for the exam. Then you can highlight certain way forward. If you are left with the space, you can highlight way forward separately. If you are not left with the space, you can highlight way forward in the conclusion itself. So way forward here can be, we can ensure more coordination, more number of meeting, better enhancement of the counter-terror architecture so that all nations come on the same platform to counter terror. We can use the complementary strengths of the nation, for example, technological advancement of Russia, the economic advancements of China, the social and the diversity perspective of India. All of this can be used as a complementary strength to emerge, to make India peaceful, to make Asia a space for peaceful powers. So this way you can write the way forward or conclusion. Or in conclusion, you can highlight that SEO remains an important body for India to balance its relation with the West. As we are part of Quad as well as the SEO, so we will be able to balance the relations, and a lot more can be done to make sure that the potential of SEO that can be used from strategic to health to business and all these diverse domains, India can emerge as a leader by taking help from the different SEO members or by helping different SEO member countries, those who need help in certain domains of healthcare and investment that we were talking about. So this way your answer would conclude for SEO. So all of these bodies that are in news, you should be aware of them. They can be asked in the upcoming exam. Now, next question, let us look at India and Israel relations. So this is a question on India-Israel relations. The question is, India's relations with Israel have of late acquired a depth and diversity. So India-Israel relations are being talked about, and they are highlighting they have acquired a depth and diversity which cannot be rolled back. And now we have to discuss this statement. So the point here is of late. So when we see the word of late between India and Israel relations, what the question is trying to highlight is, question is highlighting the recent events, very recent in the contemporary previous 5-10 years. You will highlighting those events. We are not talking about past era of the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, but we are concerned about the recent contemporary times. So this will ensure that your answer stays onto the demands of the question. So India's relations with Israel have of late acquired a depth and diversity. तो आपको depth भी highlight करनी है, diversity भी highlight करनी है, which cannot be rolled back. So we are so much deeply and so much diversely connected that it cannot be rolled back. So you will have to highlight that the closeness of India-Israel relations that are there, which cannot be rolled back. So now India-Israel relations can only go from height to height. This is what the question is trying to say. So introduction can be on the background of the India-Israel relations. So intro can be on the background of India-Israel relations. Background of India-Israel. Or you can use another way of introduction by highlighting the recent closeness in India-Israel. You can highlight the recent closeness in India-Israel relations, whether be it certain MOUs are signed, whether be it certain defense technologies are being shared with each other countries, whether be it certain commonalities on the global forum that is visible between India and Israel relations. So this way you can write the things in the introduction. Next, in body. Now body is going to be a challenging task because in this question there is no direct demand that is there. In such type of questions, it becomes very important to know that what is the question asking for, what is the direct demand for this question. So in such questions, you have to break down question into 3-4 parts, make each part a subheading and then address it in the body. So first subheading can be India-Israel relations acquiring depth. So first demand is India-Israel relations acquiring depth and diversity. So first is this. Then second discussion will have to be on the how it cannot be rolled back. This depth and diversity can't be rolled back. So this way we will have to highlight that how it has acquired so much depth and diversity and closeness which cannot be rolled back. And third thing you can highlight, which is not as prominent as it has been asked in the question, is the challenges in the relations moving ahead. So challenge in the relations you can highlight, that is there, that is hindering the true potential. Now you can highlight the conclusion. Lastly, we can show the conclusion. So first we will start with the India-Israel relations have increased since the formalization of relations. We have ensured dehyphenated relations. So you can use certain keywords like dehyphenated relations. This can be used in the introduction for India-Israel relations, dehyphenated relations with Israel. Then you can highlight, if you are aware of certain data, you can highlight Israel is India's 10th largest trading partner. So this is a factual information that you will have to remember. Partner, P-A-R-T-N-E-R. So it's a 10th largest trading partner. Then how are these relations acquiring depth and diversity? So for depth and diversity, you will have to know certain concrete points that can be mentioned. High level visits. You can start with high level visits that are there, that will be in the news. So you can highlight certain high level visits by the Honorable Prime Minister of India to Israel. Then you can highlight the strengthening defense cooperation, the deepened defense cooperation, sharing of critical technologies, India helping Israel and Israel helping India, increased defense trade. So in defense you can write about defense trade as well, that the defense trade has been increasing. If you remember the trend, you can highlight that it has been increasing for so many years continuously. So this highlights the increasing depth. Then you can highlight, since we are asked about diversity as well, so you will have to highlight the agriculture cooperation with Israel, the technology cooperation, the people to people contacts, you will have to highlight the increasing tourism between India and Israel. This way you will have to highlight the increasing depth and diversity. We can also highlight in terms of diversity, 6th point, health and education. You can highlight increasing of shared strengths, increasing use of the shared strengths in the field of education and healthcare. 20 MOUs have been signed, scholarship to Indian students to study in Israel. All these points you can highlight. Another important point you can highlight is a para-diplomacy. So para-diplomacy, Maharashtra is collaborating with Israel on creation of smart cities. So this can be a unique point that will be there in your answers and will provide a unique dimension to your answer that you are so aware about the states, which states are doing India, which states are doing relations with India. Israel relations are being strengthened by which of these states in India. So you can highlight the para diplomacy, and here we can mention in example Maharashtra. So all these things you can write in the first part of our body, that is India-Israel relations are acquiring diversity and depth. Next we come on to how this cannot be rolled back. Since there is so much collaboration and consensus on issues, this cannot be rolled back. So you will have to highlight the factors which bring India and Israel closer and will ensure that these cannot be rolled back. So you can highlight the similarity in challenges. So similarity in challenges, the security challenges both India and Israel face, which are similar. So this ensures a shared struggle. This ensures a sense of shared struggle for peace. So this can be highlighted in this first point. Next we will write that, and this way you can highlight the strategic coherence that India and Israel have. Strategic coherence, increasing trust of leadership on each other, increasing trust on leadership of each other, increasing trust of nations as a whole on each other. There are long-term vision and long-term roadmaps for India-Israel. Long-term vision has been made. So when we are making the long-term vision, we are ensuring that we will not diverge from this line ahead in the future. Then we have complementary advantages. Complementary advantages, diaspora, complementary advantages in technology and in market. Diaspora is available. A lot of Israelis work and visit India for tourism, for economic activities, and a lot of Indians are visiting Israel for studying, for contributing in healthcare, for working in the healthcare sector, and so on. So all of this can be highlighted. Next we have the challenges. Challenges, first that comes to mind, the Pegasus controversy that was there. So you can highlight that certain challenges are there in the India-Israel relations. Then you can highlight, since India has supported at certain times to the Palestine, this also is not liked by Israel. Then you can highlight the fissures in the Middle East. Fissures in the Middle East, which makes the Middle East a difficult terrain for diplomacy. So you can highlight the fissures in the Middle East. Then you can highlight the low implementation of the MOUs that have been signed by India and Israel. Low MOUs implemented. So low MOUs implemented, you can highlight that these are the challenges for the India-Israel relations. Then also another factor you can highlight as a challenge is the increasing Israel and China ties. Challenges in the relationship can be increasing the challenge from China in the tying as a trading partner to Israel. So increasing Israel-China ties are a challenge for us. So these points can be highlighted. Next, what can we write more than this is what I was telling you a while ago, that when we have a 15 marker and we are available with the space and the time to distinguish our answers from others, we can write is way forward. So way forward can be written for India-Israel relations, since we have highlighted the challenges, and way forward are expand technology cooperation, increase people-to-people ties, increasing trade relations with the country, and continuing with the dehyphenated approach that India has. Continuing with the dehyphenated approach that India has. This way you can highlight certain way forward as to highlight that you are a forward looking person, and when you have highlighted the challenges, you have also highlighted the way forward that can be done to improve this relationship with India and Israel, as the question itself is agreeing and accepting that this depth and diversity that India and Israel relations have cannot be rolled back. So in this way you can write these, and one more point you can write of the global high tables, cooperation on the global high tables. So this can be written in the way forward for the India-Israel relations. So cooperation in the global high tables, whether it be WMO, WHO, WTO, IMF, United Nations, all of these things you can highlight in the way forward, and then conclusion you can show that if you know certain statement by a scholar, you can write them, or if you know certain examples as to what more can be done, that also can be written in the conclusion. So you can show that there is a statement by Harshvi Pant, Professor Harshvi Pant, who is an expert on foreign affairs. We used to write that in the optional paper, so you can write them if you are aware of any such statement, but please don't mention the name of the scholars in the GS paper. That is the difference that we have from optional. While writing statements in optional, we are discussing there that how you will write the name of the scholars in our PSIR test series, but for GS we are not required to write name of the scholars, but you can also mention their good points, their good ideas without naming the scholar, because it's a GS paper. So you can highlight their ideas in the conclusion. When you do reading of the newspaper, you highlight those points, you keep them in your notes, and then you replicate those points in the exam hall. So in this way we would be concluding the question with the India-Israel relations. So thereby completing all the 3 questions for today. Tomorrow again we will meet for a new day on writing questions on new topic of GS for our mains, for our target of 450 marks in mains. So thank you so much. Keep writing, and if you have any doubts, you can reach out to me on this number. If you feel like asking anything or contacting me or getting your answers checked, you can write on me on this number 98878444044. So this number can be used for getting your answers evaluated, for checking your GS answers, so that you can improve in the mains exam. So friends, keep writing. Thank you so much. Thank you.